piano studio of Lisa Bailey as we continue our series on the circle of fifths, Scale Mania. We have learned so many scales so far, and I'm so excited to continue working on this series with you. So we have done C, G, D, A, E, B was the last video, and today our video is going to be on F sharp, also known as G flat. So I'm going to explain why this scale can have two different names as we dive into this scale together. Let's review B major and the pattern of a major scale. So in the last video we worked on B major, so let's start with that. So we start on B, which is our tonic, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Good, so there's the pattern, and that was what B major was. And then for the left hand, remember we started with a different fingering. Our left hand started on finger 4. So starting with our tonic, we go whole step, half step, cross over with 4, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. As we are looking to see what our next key is, remember that it is a fifth above our tonic. So our dominant is a fifth above our tonic in that key. So our tonic for B is B, and our dominant in the key of B is F sharp. So now F sharp becomes the tonic. So we're going to talk a little bit about this note for a second, because there's something interesting that happens when we move into these next two key signatures on the circle of fifths. So we have a concept called enharmonic. So this note here, F sharp, so we've been working in sharp keys. This F sharp could also be called G flat. So this key has two different names, F sharp or G flat. Now, the reason for this is if we take an F and go up half a step, so sharps always go up, that is F sharp. But look at this. What if we have a G and we want to go down half a step? That's where our flats come in. So that would be G flat. So let's try that with another note. What about this note here? So this note could either be C sharp or D flat. Now let's try one more. What about this note here? This is another black key. So this note could either be a G sharp because we go up to it, or an A flat. An easy way to remember if it's a sharp or a flat is a sharp goes up. Just like if you were to sit on a tack, you would go up because the tack is sharp. A flat goes down, just like if you had a flat tire, your tire goes down. So sharps go up, flats go down. So that is what enharmonic is. Now, as we work on this key signature, it can be called F sharp or G flat. And let's look at both of those key signatures. As you notice for F sharp, we have all kinds of sharps. And remember that we take the very last sharp and it goes up half a step, and that is our key signature. So in this case, it is an E sharp. That makes it an F sharp major. Now, what about the flat key signature, our G flat key signatures? In the key of G flat major, there are 6 flats. Now, in order to find what your key signature is in flat key signatures, you go to the next to the last flat. So in this case, look at the flat that is closest to the time signature or furthest to the right, and then go back 1 flat. That flat right there is G flat, and that is the name of the key signature. So anytime you're in flat keys, you go to the next to the last flat, and that is your key signature. You don't have to go up half a step or down half a step. It is the next to the last flat. So let's look at the tonic and dominant in F sharp major. I'm going to call it F sharp major for now. I think that will be easier than trying to call it both names for the whole thing. So we're going to call it F sharp major. Let's look at the tonic and dominant, and then we're going to look at our major scale. So our tonic is F sharp, and our dominant now is C sharp. So here's our fifth right here, tonic and dominant. All right, so let's look at what our scale is going to look like. So we start on F sharp. Now our right hand is going to have a different fingering now. We're going to start on finger 2 on the F sharp because we don't want to start on our thumb on black keys. So starting on finger 2, we're going to start with our tonic, whole step, cross under. Here's your half step, whole step, cross under, whole step, half step. Okay, go back and look at that again if you need to. This one is very different than any of them we've done yet. Let's take a look at the left hand. So we're going to start on finger 4, just like we did in B major. So finger 4 is our tonic on F sharp. Whole step, half step, cross 3 over, whole step, cross 2, half step. All right, now let's try it slowly, hands together. Very good. All right, so that was your 1 octave scale. Now let's do your 2 octave scale. And for this, I'm going to take it down an octave. So we're going to go below middle C for this one. Here's your 2 octave scale, and notice how I cross under and over with this. I'll try to talk it through as we go. So starting with finger 2, cross under, under, now back down, over, 4 over, 3, 4. Okay, good. Take your time with that. Work on that one a lot to get the fingering. Now your left hand, this is similar to the B major scale. So starting with 4 on your tonic, cross 3, cross 4, cross 3, and 2. Cross under, Very good. Now let's do this hands together. Excellent. I love the way this scale sounds. It's rich and full, and I love being on the black keys because they give a slightly different tone to your music. They're very beautiful. Let's move on to our improvisation. So as always, I recommend starting with your 5-finger scale. Now, when you are doing a 5-finger scale, you can have your thumb on a black key. Just like that, because you're only going to be using those 5 notes. Same thing for the left hand. So even though you're on black keys, because you're only using 5 notes, it's completely acceptable to have your pinky and your thumb on black keys. Okay, so our improv today is in 4/4 time signature. And let me back up for a second. Work on this with your 5-finger scale several times. Experiment with different intervals and different lengths of notes, different rhythm. And then when you're ready to try it with the full scale, go for it. But I recommend working on it several times with just the 5-finger scale. So 4/4 time signature. Let me count you in. I'm going to give you 1 measure of 4, and then we're going to come in together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Wow. That was really cool. So enjoy working on that improvisation and keep reviewing it. Just go back and do it again and again and again. It is a lot of fun to experiment with, and you're getting really good at coming up with your own melodies at this point. I'm really enjoying doing this with you. That was something. You are moving so well through these scales, and that one was not an easy one. Definitely challenging. So take your time working on it. Give yourself time to work on it hands separately before you do hands together, and enjoy the process. Great job on the enharmonic concept that we talked about. Review the video if you're still unsure and what that means, but you can also reach out in the comments if there's anything you'd like to ask me or any clarification. I hope to see you in the next video.